Hi, I'm Chad. In the fall of 2020, I bought this boat, a Columbia 10.7 called Samantas, for $750. We motored her south to her new home at Chipman Point Marina on Lake Champlain. She is now undergoing a complete refit in preparation to begin sailing the world. This is my bulkhead template. You can see I cut the doorway out. This is the one that goes into the V-berth. This is the actual bulkhead. Next weekend, they're going to be ready to go in. And I figured I might cut a couple of them. I got this bulkhead to go in. You can see that template back there. I'm going to cut both of these. Unfortunately, I couldn't find my ticking stick. I was going to do a video and demonstrate this ticking stick process on these bulkheads, but it was lost in the shuffle over there on the boat. So these aren't going to be quite as perfect as I would like. I think they're within a ½ inch all the way around. Enough to get some epoxy thickened with silica in there. Tab them into the boat. Yeah. What I've done to start with, I have sanded all these edges. I had a little bit left to do. I bonded these two little pieces onto the bulkhead because it's over 4 feet. I had to use a little bit extra just on the back, tapping into the wall. They're ready to go. I'm going to wipe everything down with acetone when I come back. I've already wiped down all these connections with acetone. I might do it again anyway. And then the big one first here with the door to the V-berth. It's going to go in. I'm going to mix some thickened epoxy and I'm going to put it right in that area all the way around, up the side and along the top. And then I'm going to wet out the edge here. You can see this. I'm going to wet out that entire edge with epoxy all the way around. Drop it in there, fit it in place. I'll probably put one screw through the panel into this frame here somewhere just to hold it in place, because I want it to slide downhill. It's not flat on the bottom. So I'll slip it up in one, maybe 2 screws into that door frame. Then I will fill that whole edge with thickened epoxy all the way around, both sides. Be a nice little fillet there in the corners. And I will wet out the bulkhead, and I will also wet out the hull to deck and the bulkhead to deck joint up here. And then tab it in with the glass. Same thing, this inverted fiberglass trick, which is kind of fun. Get it all wet out, let it get good and tacky, tab it in. And I'm probably going to do one of these at a time. Get the big one in first. Maybe while I'm waiting for the stuff to set up to get tacky so I can tab this one in, I may start setting this one here onto this T. Bulkheads are tabbed in. A little bit of a process. You go around with thickened epoxy. Use it like a kind of like a body filler, and fill the void between the hull or deck, cabin top side, anywhere there's a connection. You gotta fill that joint with a thickened epoxy, and then there's a tool. I got one here somewhere. It's just got a radius on it, about a 1/4 inch radius maybe. You just make a nice fillet in the corner. And then you wet everything out with thickened epoxy again, like honey kind of a thickness, because you want it to be able to stick and hold the fabric in place. Let it set for a minute, get a little bit tacky. Warm enough today, it's taking about a ½ hour, maybe 40 minutes to get tacky enough. And that's that. And you put the fabric on dry. Then you wet it out with thinned epoxy. I was mixing smaller batches of 4 to 6 pumps of each resin hardener and mixing it thoroughly, adding just a dab of acetone to thin it out. Because when you're doing this, especially this upside down stuff, but it works everywhere pretty well, it just thins the stuff out so that it flows through the cloth much better. Makes a better solid bond, and then the acetone evaporates and you're done. There you go. This is inside. It's a hanging locker on the starboard side. I don't know if you remember from the very early videos. And then there's some shelf space above it, opposite the head. And this is the doorway going into the V-berth. You can see there's a little bit of drippy, messy stuff. I'm gonna have to clean this up, sand it a little bit, finish it. But that's down the road. We gotta figure out what color we want this. Kind of a good comparison here. This is the old teak veneered plywood, not a marine plywood, but teak veneered. And this is the new stuff. Comparison side by side. This will be painted, so it'll be much lighter. Also, any wood trim that I use is probably going to be lighter as well. We'll see. That's up in the air. When I get to the point of trying to make those decisions, I'll be asking you guys for your opinions on colors and stuff like that. But there's the old, and there's the new from the V-berth. There's that same panel, that bulkhead with the door in place right there. You can see I got to work on the soles as well. So cabin top sides rebuilt right here. Decks are all rebuilt and brand new, and the bulkheads are back in place, all on the starboard side. Well, I got one more bulkhead I have not made. Little tiny thing. Mentioned it before, but it goes right there. It's about this tall, 12 inches tall or something. It goes in like that. It's the aft chain plate bulkhead. I've got one here somewhere to copy and put that back in place. Then the whole of the starboard side is completed, except for it's not 100% completed. I need to cut into these stringers here and slip some fresh wood and thicken epoxy into some of them. Some of them are soft in places. And also, you can see I've got the stringer in the floor opened up there already. So that's got to be dealt with. I'm not concerned about that quite yet. I'm concerned about getting these bulkheads in and replaced, the cabin tops rebuilt, and the decks rebuilt. If I can stop the drip from the top, I'll work my way down, and then I'll start working on the soles and the settees, like over here and on the other side. Take care of that stuff. So thanks for watching. Click the notification bell, subscribe if you haven't. It does help to boost our ratings on YouTube. Lots of thought went into this. Port lights rebuilt, so screws don't go through any wood. Decks rebuilt in the same way. Screws won't be going into the deck, the wooden core. I've done my best to stop all the leaks. You guys have a good night. I want to thank those that have subscribed to my channel, or like, share, and comment on my videos. If you're new to my channel, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. It helps me to gain traction here on YouTube.